the Fitness Matters conversation with Dharmendra, Sunil, and Abhishek. This conversation is a part of the series of conversations that Just Be is having, celebrating its anniversary month. Just Be Resto Cafe and Wellness is India's first oil-free, whole food plant-based restaurant based in Sadashiv Nagar, Bangalore. It was established in June 2017, and on June 3rd, 2020, we completed 3 years of serving delicious whole food plant-based delicacies to our patrons. We are known to serve healthy vegan food, and as a result, we have a lot of fitness enthusiasts, professional athletes visiting us very regularly. We also have a holistic wellness center where we provide health coaching to people to better their health and fitness. Nidhi Nahata, the founder of Just Be, was looking for an option where she could lower her cholesterol levels and get rid of some other ailments, not by medicines, but by a natural way. She found the answer in a whole food plant-based lifestyle. Once this became part of her life, it also cured her son's asthma. And when her son asked, "Mom, where do we go and eat?" she was forced to think about it. There was no place like that. She thought, why not start a place? She didn't know at that time that she was starting a revolution. That's Just Be, when it started on June 3rd, 2017, and it completed 3 years on June 3rd this year. We have a long way to go, and we understand this is just the start, and we take our responsibility of tasting. We take our responsibility of serving tasty and healthy food to people very, very seriously. I would now ask Dharmendra to introduce himself, to tell us about his plant-based journey. Over to you, Dharmendra.
Thanks, Amendra. Actually, my plant-based journey started with my running journey. Since 2009, I have been running long distance. And I think over a period of time, when I kind of did everything under the sun with respect to training, putting in the hours, I kind of started looking out for other avenues to better my efficiency in running and probably get a better, gain in terms of training, and that was the time. This was back in 2013, almost 7 years back. Beginning of 2013 is when I started exploring, other avenues beyond the training, and it all kind of pointed towards my diet. And I kind of spent close to, I would say, the next 6 months exploring, reading, following athletes, across the world in terms of what was their diet pattern and all of that, and kind of indulge into a little bit of self-study, if I may call it. And most of the literature, most of the athletes whom I followed pointed towards this plant-based diet, and I kind of took the faith in terms of believing those literature and also following these athletes. Coincidentally, some of them or most of them happen to be plant-based athletes as well, because by that point of time I was into ultra marathons, and some of these athletes that I followed were also ultra marathoners, and coincidentally they turned out to be plant-based. So I took this leap of faith and turned vegan or plant-based, as we call it, back in 2013. And I have not looked back since then. I have been very categorically when I started 2013 in terms of not making it a trial diet. A lot of times when we kind of make the transition, we are always looking at a trial and error method. Let's try it for 30 days, let's try it for 21 days. I didn't venture into that. Right from the beginning, I was convinced because everything pointed towards that. It was just that I had to prepare myself in terms of getting into that particular diet. When I say preparation, more in terms of the mental preparation and also a little bit of lifestyle preparation, that this is the diet that I'm going to adopt for rest of my life. So I was very clear right from the beginning that I'm going to change and become a plant-based athlete for rest of my life. So I attribute it basically to my running, and I have not looked back since then.
What about you, Abhishek? How do you describe your plant-based journey?
Actually, I didn't plan to become a bodybuilder. I was professionally a dancer, and I was working in the Bollywood industry. And I just wanted to look good when I come in the screen. When I appear on TV, I wanted to look good. I wanted to have a decent physique. That's all. And that's the reason I joined gym. And the reason for joining gym was my parents were quite not supportive for me working out at home. They had a problem for me working out at home. So that's the reason I joined gym. And I had to agree that I have pretty much good genetics. I've always been an athlete since childhood, and my body responded very well. In 6 months, I put on some around 10 kgs, and I was looking very good. And that is the time I decided that I should do something in bodybuilding. And that time, after 9 months, after 1 year of my working out, I competed in the first state level of competition of Mumbai bodybuilding, and I placed top 8th place in the entire Mumbai. And that time also I didn't plan of taking bodybuilding as a career. That was just, I was interested. I was passionate about fitness. But it paid off very well. And that time I saw that no one was vegetarian in the entire India who is doing bodybuilding. Forget about vegan. There was no vegetarian. And that gave me a kind of, hope that I could do something and contribute something to this field. But I knew that the journey was too big, and I'm just a beginner. And after that, I worked on myself for 2 more years. And after that, when parents were not supportive, I left my home to pursue my passion. And then later, I became a fitness trainer, certified fitness trainer. I did my certification from American College of Sports Medicine. Only 1% of the world's trainer are ACSM certified. So I finished ACSM, then I finished ACE Nutrition Specialist, that is American Council on Exercise, because I wanted to become an expert rather than being a bodybuilder. Because bodybuilding is completely about protein and calories, and it's not about health. There is no fit in fitness. So I rather wanted to become an health expert. So I studied myself, I implemented myself, and right now I have worked with all types of clients. So I am a bodybuilder who believes more on health. That's my journey to a plant.
Sunil, tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us why you started to consider changing your diet. What inspired the change? How did you become plant-based? And a little more about
it. So basically, I'm an engineer, a civil engineer, who moved to Bangalore in terms of looking for a good job. Started off with few companies and worked for. I started around 2000 actually, so around 9 years I worked in the real estate sector. So I was always, though I was an engineer, which is more of a resource-intensive industry, I was always looking for a craving for something to do towards environment. So somehow I shifted towards sustainable buildings. And when I was working on sustainable buildings, I was also working on something which is very specific to my domain, which is more of towards conservation of water. So that was one of my core expertise in terms of sustainable buildings, of how to manage sustainable water management. So since it's a real estate sector and domestic buildings where we were trying to treat domestic sewage water, and so I was trying to understand why there are so many technologies available, why people are still not adopting sustainable systems. So I went around on a mission to reach out to people. I was organizing multiple conferences, but it was not reaching out to masses. So one of my ex-boss who used to cycle from his home to office, which was almost around 35 kilometers from Kalyan to Kengeri. So we was just catching up with my boss and trying to explore after we all have cycled in our college days and school days. Can we still cycle in our working lifestyle, especially in Bangalore, with traffic and pollution issues? And will we, after a long gap of 10-15 years, be able to cycle more than 10 kilometers? It was a journey. So so cycling started off as a mode of commute initially, and then trying to explore can cycling journeys can be used for environment campaigns. So when I was exploring for environment campaigns, I was also trying to understand what is this the water conservation, what we can do apart from our infrastructure projects, right? So domestic waste is one element of the total wastage. Agriculture waste is massive. There are no, as of now, sustainable and economic model for water conservation in terms of agriculture. So I studied about it and tried to understand from the local farmers, scientists, and many reference books and various sources. So what I understood was our food habits, our lifestyle and food pattern, which can mitigate some of the water conservation, like shifting from a water-intensive crop to water-sensitive crops, which requires less water. We started off with organic, and then to millets. Millet requires less water compared to the rice and wheat and sugarcane. So it all started with that. I was actually, to be very frank, I was very apprehensive about veganism because I considered vegan is a Western concept. I said I'm already a vegetarian. What is this vegan thing all about now? But one thing was always that I was never a big fond of dairy. But being a South Indian, curd rice and buttermilk was my favorite. Once in a while, I used to have milk and tea. But when I studied about water conservation in terms of industries and food processing industries and animal agriculture and food industries and all that, I understood that our food consumption is contributing for pollution and also our health. So I visited many dairy factories and I visited many food processing units, and I saw how much water we need to divert from a river water sources to our paddy and wheat fields. So what are the alternate options? How are we going to give an awareness to the people by adopting all this? So I was also trying to explore what are the alternate options for dairy. The moment we say alternate option for dairy in India, I started off back into this team. Was very new to me, and initially I struggled a bit also. So then I started exploring, read many books, attended many workshops, learned about Dr. Nandita Shah and many resource persons who are already are doing many workshops, and so many resources are available online. And also met few of the animal rights activists. What are they campaigning about? How are they going to reach out? So, being a cyclist and then doing for commute purpose, doing it for campaigns, should I not also adopt the sustainable lifestyle? We preach that we should follow a sustainable lifestyle, but the food what we consume, is it sustainable? for ourselves and to the environment. This is how I started off my journey as a vegan cyclist.
That's quite a journey, Sunil. Dharmendra, you are into long and ultra distances. What's the longest you have run in a day?
The longest I have run is 165 kilometer. There used to be a 24-hour race that happens here near Bangalore, and I think it's 165 in a day.
So that's like Bangalore to Mysore in a day.
Yeah.
So when you do such things, what do you eat the night before that? What do you eat the night before a long run or a race?
See, I'm very much, I would say, I'm somebody who doesn't, I would say, pay too much of attention on my the previous night food, basically, right? Because once you get into a lifestyle, then you are, except for the fact that you might be loading in the prior week to the race. Except for that, I think your regular intake of food is like any other normal day, except that you might want to load up a little bit extra just to build more reserves in the bodies because you might need to use it on the race day. I think except for that, I eat ordinary food like what I would eat on a regular day. Some of the things that needs to be taken care is that, of course, when you're talking about a race, usually it happens quite early in the morning. So you might have to have your dinner quite early and give sufficient time for sleep, and then probably wind up quite early. So that is one. But most of your intake happens much before the night itself, prior to the week. So that's where one should focus. And more importantly, I think it has to become a lifestyle in terms of how much you are training. What's the race like? If it's a shorter race, then you don't need to worry too much about your diet. You just wake up and go the next day. But if you're talking about ultra long distances, then I think it has to go beyond the night, the previous night. So and also important is how you are fueling during the race, right? So on that particular day is equally important. I have been right from the beginning used to running on empty stomach. So the next day morning when I wake up, I don't even have breakfast, or I don't do a pre-workout routine as such. I just wake up and start going, right? And then fuel depending on the day, have my breakfast, a light breakfast, and lunch, and every subsequent meal beyond that. But the idea is that one has to be very cautious in terms of the activities. For example, if we are looking at ultra long distances, then one should understand the body, our own body, in terms of what it needs at what time and how much, because a lot of time I have seen strong athletes suffer indigestion and GI issues even during the race, for that matter, right? So they might be very physically strong, mentally strong, but that odd, it could be even, I would say, a bout of electrolyte that they have, for that matter, right? Even that can give them an upset stomach. So understand your body during training. I think training is the time where you can experiment everything, right? It's like a trial mode that you are putting in and seeing how your body responds, and then utilizing those aspects in the race. So I think it's quite too late for the night, but if one has to really pay importance to it, then eat light. Don't try anything new on the previous day, because you don't know how your body will react. And try to get as much sleep as possible the previous night. I know it's very difficult, because you are sleeping probably a little earlier than your regular time if you're not used to it, and you're anxious because you have a race coming up the next day. But I think there is not much that you can do with respect to the diet on the previous night.
Right. But what you're saying is the week leading up to the race or knowing
Is
your
more.
body plays a big role.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I can't help but chuckle when you say, the distance, it could be a short distance. I know the short distance for you could be very long for others. So, Abhishek, so why bodybuilding? Who are your inspirations?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't want it to be a bodybuilder. I just was an athlete. And taking bodybuilding as a career was not my option. But the thing was, when I started working out, when I went gym for the first time in my life, the trainer in the gym, he said me that a vegetarian, forget vegan, a vegetarian cannot even make a basic physique without eggs and whey protein and all that stuff. And in the entire gym, nobody has done that, and no one can do that. And that hit me really hard. And I went the entire night thinking that day that nobody has done this, and how can he say that? And I became very aggressive, and my mindset was very clear that I want to make this happen. And the next 3 months I worked so hard. Like I said, the first 6 months I put on 10 kgs, and he was the one. He was shocked. He said, the one who told me that I would not be able to do it, he was shocked, and he was the one who taught me all the bodybuilding poses and made me stand on the stage, my first bodybuilding competition stage. So that's how I started bodybuilding. And later I saw that in India there is no one who is doing a bodybuilding as a vegetarian, and vegan there was no one. And I was following one athlete. He was not a bodybuilder, he's an athlete. His name is Frank Medrano. So he was the inspiration why I went vegan. And so I was following him, and his physique was very, and I was like, if a vegan can make this physique and if he can do it, why can't I? And that's how I chose bodybuilding, and I was completely dedicated towards it. And so talking about inspirations, my inspiration is Frank Medrano. And apart from vegan athletes, if you come to bodybuilding, my favorite bodybuilder is an Indian bodybuilder. His name is Sumit Jadhav. He's not a vegan, but when you count as a bodybuilding as a sport, then he is my favorite bodybuilder. And when it comes to vegan, my favorite athletes are Frank Medrano and Nimai Delgado.
Right. You're talking the game changers here.
Yeah.
How do you fit plant-based vegan lifestyle, compassion, and cycling together? We can see the bicycle behind you. We know it's a big part of your life. So how do you fit all these things together?
So what is compassion about? So there are, as you know, there is a lot of debates about food choices, especially for sports or any endurance activity. So how do we adopt? There is a lot of confusion and a lot of myths and misconception in the community of cycling community or in any endurance community or the people who follow endurance activities. So why do we cycle for? Was my question. I obviously had my own mission on doing campaigns for environment protection. That is what I started off as a cyclist. And how do we convince or convey or demonstrate to our fellow community who are into cycling? So that's how I started off. Like as I said, I was looking for I used to have non-Muslim as well. Of course, I didn't had meat or any red meat, but I used to have egg, which I used to consider as a good protein. I used to have chicken once in a while, like a plain eating, and then also being, as I said, a South Indian, the buttermilk and the lassis and also the curd was my part of my life. And then I was not a big fan of coffee and tea, but of course once in a while I used to have milk as a kind of calcium intake. So I kept on studying what are the alternates for that, and then I understood there are more options. How many milk sources it's available for us for humans to have as a daily dairy for daily consumption. Hardly if you like cow, or sometimes might be very few people might be having goat milk or buffalo milk. But when I studied, there are many alternatives for dairy from the legumes, seeds, and nuts, and berries, and leafy vegetables, and vegetables. And so there are around 800 varieties of sources for your calcium and protein, which is still not explored by our all the at least in the people in general, and also in particularly into our cycling community. So we all cycle. Like I campaign for my environment protection rights, but there are people who are cycling to burn their calories, be fit, and have a good dopamine feeling, to have a good experience of riding cycles. So when you're craving for good healthy habit, and then trying to maintain a good health through activities, why the food intake can't be a healthier option? So do you there was a kind of discussions which I always have in my social media, or when I meet them on a face-to-face basis. Is the consumption what we are having from the mass produced dairy, or non-vegetarian, or food are healthy? Is it healthy? So what are if it is not healthy, do we know why it is not healthy, and what are the healthy options? So that's when I understood about the whole food plant-based diet. What is the whole food all about? What is raw food? Is the cooking? What are the different types of cooking? Which is healthier way of cooking? How it is best to get the best nutrient and proteins and calciums and vitamins from the plant sources? Can we have them in raw? Which are the things which we can have raw, which needs little minimal processing, which requires more cooking? So things like that. So I kept on exploring things like that. So I started off an initiative this June, which is called as Cycle for Compassion. It is for the people who are the animal rights activists, environment activists, and also vegans for animals, vegans for environment, vegans for health. So we are all doing a lot of different campaigns and outreaches for compassion. So can we also do these campaigns on cycle? Right, cycle is the ideal mode of doing campaigns. Can we do it? Right, going in a vehicle on a two-wheeler and campaigning for environment, or campaigning for compassion, burning the fuel which affects both for humans, birds, and species, and plants. So cycle is one of the environment-friendly options, which we can show our compassion towards our humanity first, right? So Earth always existed; it will sustain. How long humans? Humans are the only species who pollute. There are no animals and birds doesn't pollute. So that's how I started off. And the people who are already into cycling, can they follow? I don't want to get into this food choices option. Can you follow a compassionate lifestyle, which is just follow a plant-based diet and do your cycle rides, whether you're doing it for health reasons, environment reasons, or your endurance, things like that. I did many campaigns, long distances. I actually, to be very frank, accidentally a vegan. I was doing one of my long campaigns, and during demonetization time, I think I had mentioned before in my interviews. that during demonetization, where I had a cash, I didn't was not able to withdraw and buy a food from the hotel. So, and I didn't want to stop my journey because I was not getting a food. So I tried these roadside fruits and vegetables and tender coconut milks, and still did the same distance which I used to have it with the normal diet food. So, and I found it more lighter and not stuffed up and not having any curdling effect. I felt it very nice, and then I felt it is much easier and cost effective, better for health, and saving the money and also environment. So that's how I started off this Cycle for Compassion as an initiative. I'm trying to rise this initiative as a moment for both the compassion and the cycling community, and can work together.
I cycle sometimes, Sunil, and I think I must mention that in Bangalore traffic, cycling is one of the fastest way to go around. It's pretty much as
I've been active in many cycle infrastructure projects as well. So there is always a debate about the cost effectiveness of these dedicated cycle lanes for cyclists. So as you know, Bangalore doesn't not been able to provide a better infrastructure for the vehicles itself. How can they add an additional load for the cyclists separately? So I feel we have to work hand in hand, with the people who are in the infrastructure domain and with the community. We need to work together. It happened in Europe. Amsterdam and Copenhagen are the best cycling cities in the world. They work together. Both the cycling community and the city planners, they work hand in hand. It is all about how do we collaborate and take this initiative forward. And we, as a cycling community, we always say most of the central business districts in the global cities are traffic free. So we have done many initiatives like car free day, cycle days, open streets. So road is not just only for motorized vehicles. So road is also meant for cyclists, pedestrians, and also for trees, right? So the road has to cater to all the needs of the commute options. So obviously cycling is one of the independent and eco-friendly option which also improve our health. It has to be incorporated. We have to catch up with other global cities like I said, global cities. So I think because of COVID-19 and a lot of restrictions of the vehicular movement, and people are looking for a safer option, not taking the metros and tubes and also AC buses. So cycle can be one of the safer option. So let's see.
Yeah, let's hope. So Abhishek, how does one start with basic muscle strengthening? How does one go to become a bodybuilder if they want to? How about recovery? What is your recovery routine, and does a plant-based vegan lifestyle help you recover faster?
Okay. So the first question I would like to answer, how to become a bodybuilder or get in a basic shape. So anyone who wants to become a bodybuilder, the first thing that it's not a sprint race, it's a marathon race. It's not going to happen that soon, and you have to be very patient with if you want to do bodybuilding, because the ultimate physique, or you get to the ultimate shape only after 3-4 years, after gymming for 3-4 years, or maybe some people take more than 5 years, and then they go for enhancement. And bodybuilding is that sport. So people take so much time. So it's all about patience. In bodybuilding, you need a lot of patience, lot of discipline. So imagine having that discipline, like the diet, whatever you're following, having that discipline for 5 years. So unless it becomes a lifestyle, unless you live that life every day, you're not going to become a bodybuilder. Or even if you are not going to become a successful athlete. That's the first thing of becoming a bodybuilder. talking about getting into a basic shape, I guess people should, I get a lot of questions from the beginners, like I'm going to the gym, what kind of exercise should I do, what kind of diet should I follow. The one thing I would like to say, when I started as a beginner, please don't worry about your diet, just focus on eating clean. That is no white flour, no maida, no sugar, no deep fried foods. These are 3 basic things, and then you can go to no processed food, no packaged foods, and all those things. But the first basic thing is eat clean. No cheat meals. You can have cheat meal maybe once in a month, because unless you have eaten clean for like 3 to 5 days, you cannot do cheat meals like every 2 weeks. So getting into a basic shape, don't focus on your calorie intake. Calorie counting is completely stupid. Please don't focus on that. Please focus on clean eating and be consistent about going to the gym. Show up in the gym every day. Show up every day, every workout every day, and stick to the basic exercises. Do not follow Instagram and YouTube and some fancy workouts. Faster way to reduce fat, faster way to reduce gain muscles. That is completely stupid. There are so many videos available on YouTube and Instagram. So it's completely I would say it's bullshit. It's completely stupid. So, and many of the beginners are falling for this. You see all these people who are preaching wrong things, they have lakhs of subscribers. So that's the mistake they are doing. When you're a beginner, you listen to 10 people. Don't do that. Follow a person who is experienced in that field or who has a knowledge. So don't focus much on dieting and stuff. Eat clean and show up in the gym every day and work out. You would see yourself changing very fast. That's the second question. And the third question, talking about recovery, I guess no athlete has, I'm one of those athletes who has experienced recovery faster than others, and I can understand recovery better than others because last year in June I met with an accident and I broke my 2 bones of my left leg, that is tibia and fibula. So the fracture was not a complication. The complication was I broke my nerves, and still it's been 1 year and still the toes and the fingers can't be separated. It's still like that. So it's that major injury. People take 8 months to walk. It's not about the fracture, it's about the entire nerve injury. There is no blood supply to the bone, so the bone cannot rebuild itself, and so much problems. So I had that injury, and so I was a vegan. I followed a diet of 60% raw food and 40% cooked, and the entire meals were coming from Just Be, and the entire plan was made by Nidhi, and we started this plan, and in just 2 weeks my skin completely healed and doctor removed the fracture, the plaster. Doctor removed it, and I was allowed to bath and I was allowed to go to the gym, and then I went to the gym and I started my rehab. Till 3 months I didn't put on any muscle, but I was able to lift a deadlift of 120 kgs in just 2-3 months with a broken bone and a rod inside and 3 screws holding it. So imagine, the mindset is very important. Like Dharmendra says, that the mindset is very important, but at the same time, the diet has to help you out. And I guess for the recovery, vegan diet is the best. And talking about the raw food and the cooked food, for example, folate. Folate comes in the supplement form as folic acid, and it is responsible for building our DNA. That is both RBC and WBC. And it is found only in plants like spinach, broccoli, asparagus, and all these vegetables. But the most the common problem is this folate is lost in the vegetables when we are cooked. This is the common mistake. That's why majority of the people have this deficiency and they go for taking up supplements. So if you switch to at least 40% as raw food, or if you eat spinach without cooking, or broccoli steamed, something like that, more of raw food. When it comes to greens, then you will recover very fast, and trust me, it creates magic. It does not support much to a bodybuilding type. You cannot build yourself, but inside you recover very fast. So I guess and one more thing is the doctors who were treating me, they are senior orthopedicians in one of the top hospitals in Bangalore. and they said me that they have never seen a recovery so fast in their entire career. No, and two orthopedians also come in my gym. They also told me the same thing, that we have never seen. We have heard about recoveries like that from abroad. One of the football players had recovered in 8 months with the same fracture, but we have never seen anyone in front of our eyes recovering so fast. And you have completely changed our myth. And both the four of the orthopedicians told me that they would suggest a plant-based diet, just because they saw me recover so fast. And my doctor saw me deadlifting 120 kgs in just 2 months of time. And so they decided, and they told me that we are witnessing the game changer in the real life. And that was one of the proud moments on that day. And I thought, at least I have changed the mindset of the doctors. At least next time when some patient comes, they will not say, go and eat chicken, go eat eggs, focus only on protein. I have at least changed some perspective of the doctors, and I at least made a minute change in this field when it comes to hospital doctors or recovery. So I guess, now they know how fast vegan athletes recover, and I believe that a lot of such stories come up in the future, and the entire perspective of getting protein first for recovery and all those changes, and the entire doctors suggest vegan diet as the fastest recovery diet. I really hope that I have contributed to that, and I guess it is the future, and it will happen very soon.
Wow. I remember, Abhishek, when you came back after some time, after you started your meal plans from Just Be, after having a health session with Nidhi, there might have been a lot of people who must have been surprised at your recovery, but Nidhi was not surprised. She had total confidence in the way it worked. She wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah.
She took it as a normal thing, because that's the power of...
Yeah, she knew that, She had already seen people recovering on a vegan diet. So she was completely not surprised, and she know how mad I am about getting back to my previous form, and how strong mindset I had, and how dedicated I was. So she knew, and she had no doubt that I'm going to recover very fast. And she kindly trusted me and said that I really don't worry about it. I know that you can make it happen. But even I didn't know that I could make it happen so fast. Trust me, I didn't believe. I thought my 1 year is gone, my 6 months, I'm just going to be on bed. And I was in the bed only for 4 weeks.
Wow. I want to ask you, you have eaten at Just Be a lot. What do you like about Just Be as a place? What do you like about its food? We completed 3 years on June 3rd, just like a week back. So what do you think is the future of plant-based food and Just Be?
So the first thing is I saw about Just Be Cafe on internet, and I saw all these positive reviews. I knew that the food was going to be amazing, but the experience I had was completely different. So when I walked into Just Be Cafe, the positive vibes that you get, so the vibes really matter. So for example, when you enter the gym, why do you go to a gym rather than working out at home? Because you get that vibe of working out. So when you enter a Just Be, you get that such positive vibes when you eat that food. And the Just Be team, especially all the chefs, I have personally met all the chefs. They are so positive making your food. So all those positive vibes are passed towards you. And all these things are going to contribute to your health. And this all matters. अभी कोई खाना बना रहा है, we don't know what वो किस सोच से बना रहा है. If he has a bad thinking, obviously that vibe reflects to us and we eat the same food. So Just Be was a place where the entire team was so positive, and they were happy making food. They were happy serving food to the customers. And talking as an athlete, when I entered, even I didn't know that raw food could contribute so much for recovery and everything. So there's a lot of things that even I learned being a certified fitness trainer and nutrition specialist. There was something that I have not applied in my life that I learned at Just Be. And I really thank Just Be and all the team. They really prepared my meals so well. And the most important part of Just Be where I connected so well with the was our thinking was the same, like focus on lifestyle rather than having a 3-month transformation or having supplements and all those. We preach the same thing as a health experts. We preach the same thing of focusing more on lifestyle rather than going for shortcuts. And even she said when we were just talking, and like she said that to one of the clients that you should not count calories. So even I contributed that the calorie counting is completely stupid. For example, a Diet Coke can has the same amount of calories of 2 apples juice. So you make an apple juice of 2 apples and a Diet Coke. So both calorie count is the same. But do you think a Diet Coke is more healthier than apple? No, it is not. मतलब आसमान जमीन का फर्क है. There is no you cannot match an apple juice with a Diet Coke. So that's how that's what people do in health, fitness and bodybuilding in today's date. All they do is count calories. Calories कहाँ से आ रहे हैं ये फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But 1000 calories से 1000 calories कैसे भी चलेगा. Burger खा के भी चलेगा. But calorie count, that's why calorie counting is stupid unless you are an athlete and you have competition very nearby and you have a deadline. Then that time it's okay. Even I count calories when my competition is 1 month far. So all these thoughts as what I had as an health expert was same what Nidhi was having at Just Be, and that's why I really liked Just Be because they are suggesting health as a lifestyle, and they are changing so many people lifestyle, and they have done a lot of changes. They have recovered people from their reverse diabetes, thyroid, and so much of things. So that is the magic that happens when you take plant-based or eating healthy as a lifestyle, and that is what Just Be promotes, and that is what I was promoting my entire life. And so finally I met Just Be, and that was the right place, to take your health to a right way.
Right. And I think you meant Coke rather than Diet Coke, because the Coca-Cola company will be very sore that you compared their zero Diet Coke to other things. So I think you meant Coke rather than Diet Coke, right? Yeah.
No. So they promote Diet Coke as 0 calories, but they have artificial sweetener aspartame, which is more harmful. But the calorie count is same as 2 apple juice. So obviously apples are more healthier than Coke.
Right.
So that is what the point is. The calorie counting is not a thing. It's waste of time.
Right. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you for all those words. We'll continue to support you and the fitness community at Just Be. That's for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Also, on the heels of it, Dharmendra, you've been to Just Be quite a few times. We believe you like the concept quite a lot. What do you see Just Be representing? We completed 3 years. So what are your wishes for Just Be? And what do you see the future of Just Be and other such plant-based eateries?
No, I'm quite frankly, I would like Just Be to expand. Of course, right now it's one center in Sadasiv Nagar. It's doing quite well. I like the format that it is just not diet, but it's more holistic in terms of Nidhi being personally involved, coaching people, guiding people in terms of a more holistic approach towards fitness and also health for that matter. And the whole combination about the workshops that you guys do, some of the talk sessions that you do, I think it's become a very vibrant community of sorts where people look forward to discussions that happen at Just Be. Some of these odd events that you guys have done, which I have attended in the past, whether it is some vegan meets and so on and so forth. So I think such interactions beyond the food is essential because we are still a very, very small community at the moment. Any opportunity to come together, to share our ideas, is good. And I would love not only Just Be to expand, but every other whole food, plant-based or even plant-based or vegan, cafes to first of all, which exists today, to expand, and probably more such cafes coming out across, not only in Bangalore, but across India. You know that there are cities across the world which have umpteen number of vegan cafes, right, or plant-based cafes, and we are nowhere in the picture when it comes to that number, right? Like we have very handful of such cafes at the moment that we literally have to scan and check with our friends. Okay, I'm in this new city. Which cafe do I go to, and so on and so forth. So I think looking at what this pandemic has done of bringing focus back to fitness and health, I think this is the right opportunity for anybody exploring a business. That why not look at exploring or rather opening a plant-based cafe, for that matter. We all know what was essential during this pandemic. It was food is always essential, and it will always be essential. This is an evergreen business, and if more people can come forward and open and be in this space, it will only grow the community. So it's wonderful. And specific about Just Be is that you guys make things which we can't even think of, right? I know there is plant-based and there is vegan and all of that, but it is beyond what we perceive. Like when I eat the food, the way it is made, the way it is presented, I think it's an experience. It is, and in some cases it is beyond the experience, because just by taking a bite of the food, you can't figure out the ingredients, how it was made, and so on and so forth. So there is definitely magic happening in the kitchen, and like how I call some of the other kitchens that I have been to, that kitchens are our R&D center, research and development center, and that is technically one of it. And there is some magic happening in your kitchen, and it's done wonderfully well.
Yes, so we hope to reopen soon and do some more magic, some more powerful magic for everyone. So thank you so much for your kind words, Dharmendra. Sunil, we get a lot of cake orders from you. I'm sure a lot of vegan cakes we make for you. But
Yes.
I would like to ask you, how do you like our cakes? But also, how do you like the menu at Just Be? Does it suit your nutritional
Yes.
requirements? Do you like the
Yeah.
taste? And as I said, we completed 3 years,
Yes.
with well-wishers like you around. What do you think is Just Be's future? And
So I was right there from the day I met Nidhi, and then she was in the conceptualizing the concept of Just Be Cafe, and it's my 3 years of association with Nidhi and Just Be Cafe, and me and Nidhi share the same date of birthdays and Just Be's birthday.
wow.
And it's been my 3 years of support and collaboration with Just Be, and ever since I have been talking about compassion events, Just Be was always there to support. The past 2 years we collaborated and did a smaller events to trying to reach out to as many people as possible, and this year we are doing it for entire month. And then the entire, I think, as Abhishek rightly mentioned, there's a lot of positive vibe there. And we always, there's a myth or a common phrase we always say, "Bahar ka khana acha nahi hota hai," right? So hotel food is considered as bahar ka khana, but in Just Be, it is the only cafe which is a chimney-less kitchen. It's almost like homely food. So Just Be for me is just a home. So I don't consider any difference from my home and Just Be. It's all same. The way we take care of the things of food at home, it is the same. But the passion is, or compassion is taken care at Just Be, and the team. And the entire team is always like, whenever we come, there's a warm welcome, the smile on the team, and the Nidhi's. That's more encouraging and welcoming. Yes, I like the cakes from Just Be. So how do we all celebrate our birthdays, right? So why to start your celebrate your birthday with an unhealthy option, right? So the Just Be is always just a call away for me. I always take the birthday celebration party responsibility of ordering cake by myself, so that I start introducing to all my friends and relatives and family that vegan food is also tasty and healthy. So as of date, whoever I throw the birthday parties with, Just Be Cafe's cake, are always have appreciated. Everybody has liked it. That's the reason all my birthday cake orders always comes to me, and then I always like to place orders, and hopefully whoever are in my network, wherever I take the responsibility of organizing a birthday cake for their birthday parties, I always reach out to Just Be.
That's so kind of you, Sunil. That's so kind of you. I'm sure this journey is going to go on for a long,
Yes.
long time. You know,
Yes.
there are miles to go before we sleep. There's a
Yes.
lot of health and there's a lot of taste to be served to people. And
Yeah.
we'll look forward to all of you for your continued support.
Yes.
We hope we open soon again after
Yeah.
the coronavirus scare is over. Till then,
Yes.
stay safe, eat healthy, eat whole
Yes.
food plant-based, and take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
guys.
Just Be team, for getting this organized. It's my pleasure to be part of it.
Yes, we always want people to know what the regular guests at Just Be, or all the regular people who visit Just Be, what are their thoughts, and especially when they bring the fitness angle to it, everybody is curious to know. So thank you so much for your time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mint.
Nice meeting you, Hemendra.
Yeah. Bye.